Today, I am going to explain the PADM fault of Porsche. As long as your 911 or 718 is equipped with SC components, then you will have these things. Porsche active drivetrain mount, however, its failure rate is extremely high, and it is very expensive to replace them. This style is on 981, the 911 is similar in shape to this one, except that the bolts are longer. This style is on the 718, 982, this last style is on the 992, and there are two on each car. Next, I will explain the working logic of this system, and inform everyone that if it breaks down, how to repair it at the lowest cost. Its principle is not difficult to understand. This is its base, then it was filled with magnetic fluid. This middle part is a conductive coil. There is a rubber cover on the ROP of the coil. It is also filled with magnetic fluid inside. However, I have already cleared away all the magnetic fluids. When the current passing through this coil changes, the magnetic field around it also changes accordingly. Then the magnetic fluid is influenced by the magnetic field and it becomes softer or harder from its internal structure. It seems that there are no particularly vulnerable points that are prone to damage. In fact, it is exactly so. All the damages it has suffered are not related to its own condition, but stem from a sensor within this small square. Okay, then next. Based on the case of repairing the mount of this 981, let me demonstrate how did it get damaged, and how to fix it with the least cost. As you can see, the PADM fault of the 981 has come on. Reading the fault code, that the left mount is broken. Read the data on both the left and right sides. It can be seen that the left has no data, and it is indeed not working. Before commencing the repair work, drive the car out for a short distance first, then I will record the images of the data changes on both the left and right sides. Okay, I played back the recorded data images. This is the output signal of the sensor that is operating normally. This is its input signal here. Here is the damaged mount, so there is no signal output or input from it. Why do many car owners hold the view that, even when one of the mount is damaged, you don't feel any obvious difference at all? Let me explain this. Please take a look at its data. It is now in idle mode, in park gear. Even this mount that is functioning properly, the current passing through its coil is also very weak, only a current of merely 0.0 xa, close to zero. The damaged mount, of course, are zero. This very weak current is, of course, hardly detectable by the human body. Only when the car starts moving. Continue to observe these data. From here on, the signal output begins to change. The signal input has also begun to change. However, during this period of time, I was driving in the normal mode, so the variation range of TIS signal is not large, because in the normal mode, the computing logic of the computer leans towards comfort. Okay, let's continue to observe the data. Look here. At this moment, there is a sudden change in the data. Why is that? First of all, it's because I activated the Sport Plus mode. Then, during this period, I was driving with great intensity, so its signal output changes very rapidly. Meanwhile, its signal input also changes very rapidly. Have a look at its signal amplitude. At its peak, its instantaneous current reached 6 amperes. This is a very large current. What kind of working logic is this? This is the output signal. Suppose we draw a center line here. When the signal is below this center line, it is the state where the mount is stretched out. When the signal is above the center line, it is the state where the mount is being compressed. Whether the mount is stretched or compressed, the current inside it will increase. Then the mount becomes harder to resist its physical deformation. Although its principle is similar to that of electromagnetic shock absorbers, however, in contrast, it has an additional set of real-time feedback systems. The general electromagnetic shock absorbers can only be adjusted in stages. However, the PADM, due to the presence of the feedback system, so it can adjust rapidly at each point, and it has several different working modes. Under the normal mode, its changes are relatively gentle. When activating the sport mode, its frequency and amplitude of change are both extremely intense. So that's why, when the engine is at idle speed, even if the PADM malfunctions, you won't notice any abnormality, because when it really comes into play, it's when you are driving with great intensity, especially in the Sport Plus mode, its working current is very high. Now the damaged mount have been removed, we need to open this lid. After opening it, you can see the sensor's chip. Cut open the cover of the chip. it can be seen that the magnetic fluid has invaded. If you search carefully here, then one can find a detached core body. This little square is its measurement chip. The reason for the damage to the mount is that it has come off. The factory design of Porsche is such that it is fixed in place with glue. Then, we removed all the old sensors from it. However, Porsche does not offer this sensor for replacement on its own, so I designed and manufactured it. Surely, in order to avoid the defect of the factory sensors, modified the design of the chip. I made a casing for the measuring chip, and then soldered it onto the circuit board via the pins. And install it in a different direction. I think this can effectively prevent it from falling off. Okay, the new sensor has been installed. Next, install the mount onto the car. Okay, the maintenance work on the left mount has been completed. Restart the car. Now the fault prompt has disappeared. After clearing the fault codes, let's observe its data again. Okay, now both sides mount are functioning properly. Let's drive the car out again, and record its data images. Compare the signals on both sides. Finally, let's review the data images after the restoration. It can be seen that both the left and right mounts are in operation. These two pictures show the signals from the original factory sensors. These two pictures show the signals from the new sensors that I replaced. It can be seen from the image that my sensor has the same sensitivity, frequency and amplitude as those of the factory sensors. Okay, now this malfunction has been successfully repaired.